actually am the founder of two companies. One is the Marketing Lady, where I help entrepreneurial leaders position themselves as brands. And then I have a consulting firm where I consult organizations on their small business initiatives. We have a wonderful panel today. I'm very glad to moderate this panel discussion on customer acquisition and retention. Now, you all are all business owners, and we have experienced times when sales may have slowed down or marketing budgets are a little slim, and it's hard to get some traction in terms of getting new customers and keeping the ones that you already have. This panel is going to give you some tips and strategies, so you're literally going to walk away. So get your pen, paper, your iPad, or your digital pads out, because we're going to have some great tips. Now, our panelists, let's start here with Jennifer. Jennifer of Jen-gerbread Marketing, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer. Like she said, my company's called Jen-gerbread Marketing, and we have a leg called Loyalty Boost that focuses on customer loyalty and retention. And my saying is always, it's cheaper to keep her. Retention is cheaper than acquisition. So today I hope to give you guys some advice on some ways that you can actually keep your customers coming back more so you can make more money. Yeah.
Thank you. Next, we have Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn Connor. I'm the owner and co-founder of The Plot Twist. We are a romance book bar located right here in Denton off of the square. And The Plot Twist was the brainchild of my TWU educated grant receiver at TWU, who got tired of teaching children after 5 years of high school chemistry. And she said, I need friends, alcohol, and books. And I said, let's make it happen. So that's why we're here.
Brett.
Howdy, y'all. Whoa, there we go. Howdy, y'all. My name is Brett Christoffel. I'm the founder and CEO of All Y'all's Foods. We are a mission-driven plant-based proteins company with a line of jerky that's tender and crunchy toppers. I started in 2018 because I realized I love a cow like I love a dog.
Thank you. Well, you know a little bit about us. I want to know who's in the room. So I want everyone to stand up if you're able to. Please stand. Please stand. Thank you. Stay standing if, sit down if you have a consumer packaged goods type business. Consumer packaged goods, sit down, okay? No, only one, two, okay. How about if you own a retail business? Sit down. Retail? Oh, wow, okay, not that many retail.
Can we do an audible? Because we're blind, so we're not included in any of this.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Healthcare, health and wellness.
Give it a clap.
Okay. Clap. No help, not that many health and wellness. One, two. All right, how about service-based?
Clap.
So the majority of the people that were standing up were in service-based businesses. So all of you service-based, clap your hands. My one or two health and wellness, clap your hands. My retail. And then anybody else that I left out, because we still have some people standing. What's your business straight in the back? Entertainment. How about you? Okay. Construction. Perfect. And you? Entertainment. And the far back? Manufacturing. Technology. Did we get everybody? Awesome. Thank you so much. So let's kick this off. There are tons of ways to attract new customers whether that's through social media, hosting pop-up events, public relations, all of these things. And most small businesses start with like a very low-cost method to attract new customers. So I actually want to start with Brett down there of All Y'all's Foods. Talk to us about any strategies that you have used to attract new customers online, specifically being in a very niched market such as plant-based.
Great question. When I was coming up and I started in sales in the long, long ago, it was the telephone book. If you're not familiar, Google it. And door hangers under the windshield wipers. I mean, it was just a very different world. And when I started my company, I realized we needed to have a presence on social media. So the biggest way, because I did not do ad spend for over 7 years because I didn't have the budget to do it. And so having a presence on social media is where it's at. It costs you nothing. And I would also suggest that the whole Madison Avenue, beautiful, pretty pictures and perfect videos and stuff don't play anymore, especially as AI gets stronger. They want to know about you, or you need to have a face of your brand. It's not just about showing the items. It's about they want to know what will benefit them. In other words, if I do business with you, whether it's a service or a widget or whatever it is, what's my payoff? What do I get out of it? And social media doesn't cost anything. It's free, and you get to be creative. If you don't understand what to do, talk to ChatGPT or get on Google if you're still there, and ask it what you should do and how to create that. And then that's the way, that and getting in front of customers at events. We're in HEB, so sampling at HEB goes a long way. Just to introduce people to your product. So if there's an opportunity to get in front of people, the public, at a relatively reasonable cost, do so, because that's how they're going to learn about you. And social media, if you have a widget as opposed to a service, live selling is going to continue to grow and become the norm for successful brands, because you can go out and compete with the big players who have $100,000 budgets a month. You can get and spend time on live social media and get the audience for a lot less cost because it's just your time. So that's the biggest thing in getting in front of people, was to utilize social media and then do press releases, etc.
So thank you for that. I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. And if either one of you, Dawn or Jennifer, have specific examples of tactics that you may have used on social media. For example, have any of you used influencers, right? So share any specific tactics that it might have helped you really attract those new customers on social media.
For us, when we, excuse me, because I'm an avid DIYer, as we were renovating our building, it was really important to me to show our book community what we were going to be offering, and hopefully they would get that connection, and they were part of it. So we have, every week we have somebody walk in the store that says, I've been following you from the beginning, because they made a connection to see us grow and develop. They saw the mom and daughter working really hard to build it for themselves. And so we had, sore knuckles and bruised knees. So they were able to watch us on social media do that together. And I think that the content that you put on social media needs to be authentic, and it really needs to highlight your vision and your mission for your company. But I also feel like that you have to know your audience and what's important to them. So for us, a lot of you are in the service industry, AI is going to be a very useful tool for you. In my industry, it is not, because AI is frowned upon in the book industry, So you have to know your industry. You have to know what your customers value and make sure that you're aligning yourself with that. I will also say that I am not a social media guru. I depended a whole lot on some younger team members, volunteers to kind of help us. So I could create all the content that I wanted, but if I didn't know the connection and I didn't know what was trending, So you can get on your phone and film a video that will not resonate with somebody if you don't know how to maybe align little simple things like the hashtags that you use. Or what does your background look like? Is it your kittens playing in the background? If you're sitting there talking about whatever your product is. So I think also having maybe somebody to help you if you need that help to know your audience a little bit better and how to connect.
Yeah, you made a great point about when you were opening up your store and you let your audience follow along that journey. I mean, y'all are just digging deep on your knees and just, real, live, authentic,
We showed some tears.
shed some
We
tears.
did, and we showed that.
And so that's a great way for your audience to connect with you and say, well, I saw all the hard work you put into the opening up the plot twist. Let me come visit. Let me go check it out. So you created this experience before the actual store took place, open. So
And I feel like if you have a passion for what you are offering, service, retail, whatever it is, if you have a passion, that resonates to people. If they can feel it and sense what you're offering, and they can feel that authenticity of what you're talking about or what you're offering them, they'll connect with you. I think really a lot easier. You could sell me a pencil if I have 100 of them. If you're really passionate about it and you tell me that you sourced it, and you made sure that you were going to a reputable company. And so just knowing where your products are from and those sort of things I think are also important.
Jennifer, anything you want to add around utilizing social media?
Yeah, I think what they said is really important. Obviously, we know right now the focus is on brand storytelling. I had a client, we opened up a Houston location like about 2 years ago, and I had a post that went viral. And it was funny to me because I've had posts that I've spent hours creating that maybe got like 10 likes, 12 likes. And this took me 15 minutes or less to edit, and it ended up getting over 300,000 views, like over almost 50,000 likes. And I know what I did during that time. I used trending audio. At the time, there's an artist named Burna Boy. The last song was trending. So I put that on there, and I think that gave it visibility. And then on top of that, I noticed that TikTok specifically likes celebratory content. So it was a grand opening of a concept that kind of looked like almost like a Whole Foods, but it was very different than other competitors in its space. So I think the uniqueness of what was going on with the celebratory aspect and also the music helped it go viral. So I always recommend to people, I think TikTok is a great platform because a lot of other platforms, I feel like you got to play politics a little more. But TikTok, sometimes you can have grainy video. If people just resonate with the content, it can go viral. I have another example, a sister brand of ours. They opened up a new concept and there was no traffic. So they were all sitting at the table and she just picked up her cell phone and she started recording, talking about, I'm in this beautiful restaurant, and she's like, nobody's here. We got this kind of food. She just started walking around telling the story, and it went viral. And people were like, I want to book. I want to come Saturday. I want to come Sunday. And TikTok is just a platform that you can do something like that. So I think that's the really cool thing about these platforms. Organically, I think that platform allows you to be able to get that visibility without even having to spend money, as long as you have like really good content. But I want to add that all of these things are acquisition, efforts. The most important thing that I would want to share with everybody today is the importance of retention, because a lot of times small business owners or startups are taught that do acquisition, hire an influencer, pay for ads, go sponsor this event, and that's cool, but it's acquisition. When they step into your building and the acquisition, the marketing you did works and they're actually in the building and you don't capture their name, their email, their phone number, you missed it. That's like a big miss, because they may come in there, let's say you sell cookies, they may come in there and buy your cookies, they may enjoy your cookies that day, but there's no guarantee that they're gonna come back. And I made the reference earlier, it's cheaper to keep her. It's just like any other relationship. You're not gonna go on a date in January and then call the person in December. They might not wanna talk to you anymore. And it's the same way in your business. You have to continue to talk to your customers. So that data is really important, no matter whether you're in e-commerce, service-based, retail, you got to start collecting data. That's really important.
So on that note, you talked about retention is more important. You know, the 80-20 rule applies to almost everything in life, and in marketing and sales, 80% of your revenue actually comes from 20% of your customers. So that's why she's saying it's cheaper to keep them instead of spending a lot of money and time and resources trying to acquire new customers. So I am curious, I want to hear from the audience. If you haven't noticed, I'm very interactive, so this means you have to engage in audience participation. What's harder for you? Is it attracting customers or keeping customers? Raise your hand if it's harder for you to attract. Raise your hand. Okay, that's about half. And then retain. Raise your hand. Retaining. Okay, then there's a lot of people who didn't raise your hand. Why is that? So you either you get new customers or you keep customers. Is there a third option that I'm not aware of? So it seems like getting customers is a challenge. So I want to discuss the importance of customer loyalty. And so I want to start with you, Jennifer. Talk about that. How does it drive sustainable revenue?
Loyalty is like I've been in the marketing space for like way over more than 15 years, and I feel like retention and loyalty is like the most powerful thing that any brand can do. And the thing about it is loyalty, the barrier to convert somebody to actually purchase from you is a lot lower with people who've already had an experience with your brand. So think about it. The biggest brands in the world like Starbucks and Sephora, who have the best loyalty programs in the world, do it. So as business owners, we should be doing it as well. So for example, with loyalty, you can see the kind of, if you're looking at your POS, let's say you're a retail. I'm going to do this from retail because I work with retail businesses. Let's see that your most popular product is a lemon pound cake. It's your top seller. And you sell the lemon cake for $5, per unit. But it costs you 30 cents to make. You could put together a volume-based promotion and do a BOGO and do a buy one lemon cake, get one free, and push it out to people who are already your customers. You already have the data that shows you that that's a popular item. So when you push it back out, what's gonna happen is, most retail business owners kind of have an idea of their busy traffic days within their store, and you might know on a Monday, hypothetically, we normally make $3,000. Your loyalty program, if well optimized, could bring you in at least an additional $1,000, $1,500. So now you got that organic traffic that was already gonna come in, the people who woke up this morning and they said, ooh, I want a slice of lemon cake or a lemon pound cake this afternoon. So those people were gonna come anyway. But now, those people who got that nurture message, whether it was through SMS, an ad, or an email marketing material, now those people are seeing the pictures, the visuals converting, and they're like, wow, I wouldn't mind actually coming out. So it just lets you know like the power of retention. It's like there's a way that you can actually drive up your sales simply by talking to your audience and looking at your data and seeing what's interesting and pushing out messages to them. So, sorry.
Yeah. Based on the audience poll earlier, it seems like we have a lot more service-based type brands and companies in here. Any advice for service-based businesses on strategies they can implement to retain customers?
It's the same thing. It's just you guys don't have physical foot traffic that's coming into the store. Maybe if you're a service provider or like can somebody give an example of what you do in your business, and I can speak more specific to it as a service provider.
Any service-based?
Anybody?
Stand up and yell it out.
Are you a service provider in your business? What business? What industry are you in? A wedding? Oh, waxing. Okay. Do you have a brick and mortar business, or do you do home service, or how does your business? In a suite? Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of like in a physical business, so you can put together promotions for people to come out, but you kind of know on your back end what services are being booked the most and which services are being booked the least. So you can put together a campaign for your least popular service, and if I had an example, but let's say your least popular is facials, and your most popular is massages. I'm just making up something real quick. You can create a special bundle under your massage package that comes with your facials, because it gives an opportunity for the people who haven't tried the facials to try the facials, and then if they like it, then it can help you drive up the numbers of people who are booking that particular service. So it works both ways. You can leverage your most popular product to try to drive your customers back more, and you can take your least popular product and bundle it with something else, or figure out another way to position it. Like, for example, if it's National Facial Day, you can say, hey, this is a category that I'm trying to run up. I'm gonna go ahead and do a promotion around National Facial Day and push it out to my people who already know and like my service, to see if I can get, additional bookings around that.
Jennifer has just given you a whole strategy, like in 5 minutes almost. So, I mean, this is some really good stuff. And I want to make sure I get to Dawn. Did you have something to add about attracting the new customers?
Oh, well, I just think with the service industry, my previous experience was with that. I think it was more about also if you've gotten a customer and you're retaining some information from them, email, phone number, whatever your communication, trying to authentically, give something back. So if you are a service industry in cosmetics, or maybe electronics, or maybe plumbing, we like to get maybe some information for free. So sending out newsletters, I think, is something that we would usually do to offer, like, hey, it's winter time. Are you winterizing? And then taking advantage of any kind of things that you can provide as informational without the appearance of trying to get something back. It just be more of I think if you're giving and being a community service provider, and your community feels like you're connecting with them by giving them something informational that's helpful, then next time there are plumbing leaks, they're gonna think, oh, you know what, I always get something from XYZ talking about plumbing, or hey, my electrician sends me that annoying newsletter every month. Well, they may not read it, but you're always staying relevant in their mind. So I think building up that relevant, maybe repetitiveness, and maybe it goes to spam, but they may see it occasionally as the hope, and they'll think of you when they need that service.
Yeah. So while you have the mic, I want to talk to you. The nail salon that I go to, there's like 2 or 3 closer to me, but I will drive past those 2 or 3 nail salons just to get to this one specific one. And the reason I like going there is because of the experience that I have. When you walk in, you normally smell the smell of the, nail polish stuff, but somehow they've managed to create this nice smell inside of their salon. You still smell the polish, but you do smell this nice fragrance. They have soothing water features, like a little waterfall thing. And most important, my nail tech is great, so I do go because of that. But that experience, and then most importantly, they serve alcohol, the cocktails. So really, that's the reason why I drive past the other 2, is because of the cocktails. So Dawn, tell us.
Knowing not everybody serves alcohol in their business or provides it with their service, I think more importantly, it's what kind of service are they getting? Are they getting a grumpy salesman that shows up at the door? Are they mad? Is the exterminator mad because, he was running late from one house to the next? Whatever your service is, if your personality is, you're taking your bad mood and your customer is sensing that, service industry, retail industry, whatever that is, our number one goal is everybody gets a warm greeting when they walk in the door, and everybody gets acknowledged. We try not to be hawks, but we also are, in our industry, we know that somebody may not know what they're looking for. They just want to check us out because they've heard about it. So we need to be open to saying, hey, how can we help you? And I think the experience for us is probably what drives 80% of our business. because we are so niche with what we offer with the bookstore and the bar element. And so I think if you can find something niche, you don't have to be just a plumber, right? You can have a niche part of your industry, whatever that is, that you're focused in, and become the expert in your industry. So my goal is for our team to be the experts in romance novels. And for indie authors, we carry a lot of indie authors. So we want to be the experts in romance indie authors so they know they have a home and a community that supports them. We're also the experts in subgenres. We can hopefully provide something when anybody walks in the door, they're going to find something that they enjoy, that they can see themselves in, whether it's because we have authors or stories of different nationalities, or because we carry a queer section, we carry a Christian section, we carry closed-door romances, we carry really dark and steamy stuff. So everybody should be able to come in if you enjoy reading. If you don't, we will convert you. You should be able to come in and find something that you can find yourself in. So as boring as plumbing is, what is the niche that you can find that you can offer? You can become the expert in your area, and I think that's what we kind of pride ourselves. And also drinks, like who doesn't want a yummy mocktail?
It's like they sell cocktails, right? So ladies, get your book club and go there. They even have mocktails. So if you're not,
we have mocktail, cocktails, beer, wine, soda, and water.
Yes. So I want to go back down to Brett here, and do you have, because you're all online, and so how are you creating a memorable experience, and any advice for the consumer packaged goods folks in the audience?
It applies to every industry. You want to reduce churn, increase the lifetime value of your customer. You're going to do that by treating them very well. You're going to listen to them and make things right. If something's wrong, make it right. And that's where the win is, I think, in every industry, is understanding what the customer's win is and managing their expectations, and then providing them a valuable widget or service or whatever the experience may be. I would suggest using email funnels to people that visit your website. It costs next to nothing. Klaviyo has a monthly fee, but it's fairly reasonable. And there are probably free services as well. And that, again, is getting in front of the customer without having to spend money. And so I would say just be yourself. Take in your customers' feedback. With my company since the beginning, if someone responds to a post on social media, I'm the one who answers it. If someone emails customer service, I'm the one who answers it. Because that way I know, while I could be doing a dozen other things, that's important to me. Because as a consumer, I care about my experience and I want someone to hear me out or answer a question or what have you. And so it's still the CEO, but I still handle that. And at some point, I'm sure I'll let it go, but it's worked well so far. And we're online, we're in stores from coast to coast, and we just got into 10 countries in Europe. So we're continuing to grow, and if you ever have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me through the website. Also, look into grants. I have not heard the word grant since I've been here, and there are a lot of people and a lot of corporations and groups that want to give money away. It's not a loan. You just have to investigate and take the time. And that's it. Thanks.
One of the things I saw on your Instagram, Brett, was you are really good at telling stories. And, Dawn mentioned this and Jennifer mentioned it. When you can make an emotional connection with your audience, they start to trust you, right? You've probably heard of know, like, and trust. People get to know you when they see you or experience you. They get to like you when they've had a good experience. But when they make that emotional connection with you or your brand or your staff, that's a different story. So talk to us about how you've used authenticity and storytelling to connect emotionally with your customers.
Well, my background is in corporate sales and sales management, selling custom enterprise-wide training solutions. So I didn't plan on getting into the plant-based protein space ever. I grew up like most of us on a meat-centric diet, hunting and fishing, and when I had a change of mind and heart, it changed. And I had one video go viral. It's such a cool feeling. And it was me at the state fair. I'm a Go Texan member. Go Texan. And my guy that was helping me videoed me, and a woman came up from the Air Force Exchange and said, "Why do you do this?" I said, "Well, I realized I love a cow like I love a dog, and then I learned that beef was our second largest agricultural export next to cotton, and that bothered me. And I even challenged myself aloud, are you gonna bitch about it or are you gonna change it? Because you know how people like to bitch, I'm guilty. But I decided to change it, and so I started making jerky from plants because every gram of protein comes from the plants the animal ate. Animals don't generate protein, they just process it. And if we skip the animal, we skip the cholesterol, saturated animal fat. But I shared that story, and I share that story because I have one. I have a founder story, and it wasn't about, I want to make a ton of money, which is nothing wrong with that. This came about as a change of heart, one that I certainly would never have expected of me in my life. But sharing your story, people connect to that. Even if you look at me and you think I got two heads because you're like, meat, I get it. But I just am just honest, and there's no judgment in what others eat or consume or what they think. It's just, here's my truth, and here's an option, because meat's really all about the flavor and chew, so we can mimic both with plants. And it goes over well. Again, there are some people who'll, rebuff a little bit, but for the most part, it's just about, here's my story, here's why I do what I do, and we've replaced upwards of 100,000 pounds of meat with plants. And it just lands. And I'm fortunate in that I stepped into this blindly because I didn't know what I was doing. I still half the time don't know what I don't know, but it continues to work because I think this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else on the panel want to add to that? Emotional connection. So we've heard a lot of great tips from using trending audio on TikTok, and TikTok like celebratory content. We've heard email funnels, creating email funnels to keep, once you get them, keep them coming and keep them aware of your brand. I want to have one final question for the panel, and that is, what's a bold move or mindset shift either one of you have had to make that transformed how you see your customers or how you see your brand? A mindset shift or bold move. Either one of you can answer that.
I don't know. I don't know that it was like a big mind shift per se, but I would say the importance of like social listening and also paying attention to like your back-end analytics. It's really important. Because even when you have like negative Google reviews, businesses hate having a negative Google review, but your Google reviews are like a free case study of everything that you're doing right and everything that you're doing wrong. So if people actually start getting in there and start looking at, you have like 3 posts that everybody said the chicken was cold, or you have 3 posts that when people said they showed up to your nail shop, it took 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That's a free case, that's free information about the area that you need to improve. So I think that's something that's really important. And then another thing is for people, no matter what, whether you're e-commerce or however you're collecting payments, you know what you're selling. Paying attention to the volume, like what's moving, what's not moving, because that's really important. If you have a top-selling product, that's your most popular product. So how are you positioning that product in terms of like how you're putting together your marketing campaigns? And then your least popular product, is it not popular because it's not popular, or is it its positioning? For example, there's one product, it's a sponge. It went viral on TikTok, and one of my clients has it in stock. It had been sitting in stock for like months in the store, and it wasn't moving. So I moved it over to a digital display board, and I put the viral TikTok sensation, and they were sold out of it in a week. So it's not because it wasn't popular, the positioning was wrong. It was in a box in the wrong part of the store. So that's my feedback.
Thank you.
So I have a lot of thoughts. I'm going to try to keep it really, I want to say real quick about the email. If you're sending out weekly, we send out a weekly email, and I don't want you to get discouraged. We only have a 46% average open rate, but we have a 20-something average conversion rate to a sale every week. So that means that only 40-something% of those people are opening this email, but 20-something% are purchasing something. So my loyalties program pays for itself 1,000 times over what I pay for that programming to send those emails and those things out. I just wanted to say how important that's for our store. But for pivoting for customers, I think not knowing, because we were new to the industry, and it's okay to go in and not know all the answers, and to forgive yourself as you go along and you're making these mistakes. You're not going to please everybody. I can promise you, no matter how many times you've bent over, you think you've done it perfect, but there's always room for growth and learning. So I embrace those things, but not to stay up all night long beating yourself up for that error or that mistake, but also to know that listening to your customers. So we had a strong section of books that we felt like was going to be our #1 top seller, and they have told us over the past year that no, this is where we're at. And we've expanded our shelf space to fit that need and that desire from our customers, and we've listened to them. So I think that just being open-minded to pivoting to whatever your industry is and where it's taken you, and also to not be afraid to ask for help. If we went into this thinking my daughter-in-law, and myself were going to run this store and have one bartender, I have a staff of 10 people now. So I had to come out of my comfort zone financially and say, I'm taking the leap. I'm hiring more people. So now we look like we have it maybe together a little bit more than me running around the store 12 hours a day, trying to figure it all out.
All right, Brett, you have 2 minutes to close us out. A bold move or mindset shift?
I think the first one I had was I had someone helping me with social media, and I'm like, you guys handle the comments, you guys handle all, and it was pointed out to me that that's where you're going to touch the customer first, is taking the time to respond or thank them for taking the time to make a comment, even if they're coming at you. Because believe it or not, people will come after you for whatever reason, but they will, because I always consider the mouth, or in this case, the keyboard, the exhaust pipe of the soul. So people will show you how they really are. And again, we all live in our own minds, and it can be a fun place or it can be a miserable place, and people will usually share that. So I work to ensure that everyone gets an answer or a response or something else, and it was about, I had it made up, you're CEO of the company, you shouldn't be doing that, you need to let someone else do that. And it's like, well, right now at this point where we're at size-wise, it only makes sense that I still do that, because again, I want people to know I care, and I do, and no one's going to be more authentic than the founder. I would say that was the first biggest thing, was connect with your consumers. And if you guys are familiar with Gary Vee, you may or may not be, but let's just say he's been a bit successful. And he said, like in the beginning, people won't bother to respond to comments on their posts on social media. He goes, you should be responding to everyone. When I had 2 people following me, when I had 20, and now he's got millions, it's like, you just have to take care of the people and treat others as you'd want them to be treated. And that's gone a long way. I don't know that I've had any big realizations other than in my industry in the plant-based proteins. You've heard a lot about it. Maybe you know a little bit about it. But I've watched so many companies come and go and even raise tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're gone because they just wanted to go and play company and focus on the top line vanity metrics. And it's not a win. So your traditional retail play is not always the best bet. Direct-to-consumer is always a good play, and now live shopping is available there. But even if you have a service business, you can get online and talk about it. Answer questions from people. Bring value to the consumer. In our emails, we send a lot of recipes because we also have a cookbook, and bring some value to them, even if it's a bit of information about something. Again, all kind and compassionate, and no judgmental, whatever. And that's I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's give our panelists a hand.